Hello, my people. I know we cannot see anything, only my fire here in my garden. There's no electricity, as you may know. Here in the beach is prohibited to have electricity because of the turtles. But well, I sat next to the fire and I wanted to make a video because of a friend that I just met through another friend that I like very much. She's very nice. And for her and for everybody else that have been asking me these questions and that have been telling me about it, like lately my friends are afraid, like some older friends of mine, they're like if I was religious or what, or because I'm posting all these things about about the Bible and about God, and like always, oh, I've always done it, but right now they seem to be noticing a lot. Okay, so I just want to, it's not to explain myself actually, but they want an explanation. They want to understand how is it that I have this fire, or what is it, am I religious or what? First of all, I want to start reading a little bit of the Bible, of the Gospels, in St. Mark 4:11. Mark 4:11. And Jesus said, and he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of God, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted, and their sins should be forgiven them. And he said unto them, know you not this parable? And how then will you know all the parables? The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately, and taken away the word that was sown in their hearts. Okay, well, I read this to you because actually I was born in a family where they were not religious at all, but they were Catholics, like normal, attending church, Sunday attend, and sometimes they didn't even attend in church, my mother and my father, but my grandmother and all the elders in the family did. Anyway, so in my situation, personal situation, I could not really understand what was going on, but I did respect it, that some supernatural power created us, because I understood that was what it was. I just knew it. And when I was 7 years old, I have a personal thing with Jesus. It was the pagan Christmas season, and we were watching this TV, and I saw a scene of the movie of Jesus where he was healing all the sick people. And he said to everyone, he said, whoever follows me will be able to do this that I'm doing and more, So I thought to myself, oh my God, like when I grow up, I'm going to see all these sick people. And there's two ways only. Either I follow him and heal the people that are sick around me, and I'm like healthy, or I stay sick with the sick people, or I become sick, I don't know. So I said, no, I'm going to choose to follow him. So I said, I remember at 7 years old, I said, no, I want to follow you, happens what happens. Like, I want to do exactly as you said. And I remember dreaming that I was even crossing the desert like I was coming out of Egypt with Moses. I had this dream. I understood perfectly the Exodus that night. And then it was like if I was part of these families. I just felt it. I understood what they did, and I felt so sorrowful and sad for their stupidity. I felt like they should have known better, like all the errors they committed with God and etc. I had reverence for God and respect, and a lot of fear of God, but in a good way. Like I loved him too much, and I wanted to do his will just because I loved him. And just because he said, if somebody hurts you, put your other cheek, and if somebody, hurts you, just be nice to them, forgive them. I did that all the time with my family and everybody, just because he said it. Not because I felt I was good, because I wanted to do it, but just because he said it, and I loved him so much, and I think he was the coolest person I ever met in my life. Okay, by that time, I never saw him in person. I just believed because of that movie, of course, and besides the people going to the church and me having my Catholic ceremonies, whatever, even though the family of my dad back in Argentina, they had like these origins of like Irish Jewish, which are Irish and from Irish and Italian roots, but they were Jewish. Anyway, so when the Hitler, when the Second World War, they run away, and they landed in Argentina, and they of course denied to be Jewish in order to survive. Like many people and many others that came here after the Second World War, they don't even know they have Jewish roots, and they became Catholic or they became Christians. Even my family here from the north of Mexico, which is my mom's side, she knows she's like Israeli. She knows she's Hebrew. She's not, they feel these roots very deep inside them. Anyway, but still, they couldn't say they were Jewish, and that's why also there are also fake Jewish in this world. There's people that fake to be Jewish and they're not. And then there's some Israelites and real Hebrews that are all mixed up everywhere without knowing who they are. Well, but that's something else. Anyway, so the thing here is that, okay, I was trying to tell you how did all this happen to me. Okay, so when I grew up, of course, Catholics are not really in contact with Jesus. They don't understand what Jesus say. They don't do what Jesus say. And I was really sad because every time we came back from church, I would be asking my mom and dad, hey, the priest just said that we should love each other and treat each other well, and then they were fighting. And I was like, how can this be? He just heard what we're supposed to do, and you are not doing it. If we obey God, He'll bless us. I understood that perfectly. I knew that we just need to do exactly as we promised God. We need to have Him in consciousness and obey Him. It's so clear. Anyway, but no, it wasn't for them. So it was just hell. And people were fighting for many other things. Humans and adults fight for everything. They get into trouble that they shouldn't, and they are sad all the time and grumpy and all of this, and they harass and oppress kids, and they were not so, like, everybody around me were like crazy, right? I mean, that's how I saw them when I was a kid. But I had Jesus, and I had my grandmother who believed in Jesus and was full of grace, like good, she was an obeying Christian. She had Jesus, so you could feel the grace in her house. So I had this first-hand experience of what it felt to be around grace, like people that prayed and got what they asked for, because people hear God listens to the prayer of the saints, of the people that obey Him and love Him very much and really truly love Him, and He knows who loves Him perfectly. He reads your hearts. He's looking at you every moment, every second, every day. So anyway, time passed. I grew up. Everybody came against me. In my school, everybody rejected me. People talked about me, things that were not true. They were oppressing me, harassing me. They invented stuff that hurted my heart so much that I even tried to commit suicide when I was 15 years old. But God didn't let nothing happen, and I was okay. I mean, nothing happened to me, but He made me feel repentful and all this, that. But then I think that the enemy was trying to get a side in my life, right? So he made some of my school friends, one guy personally, to betray me, into he made me think that he loved me and that he was going to marry me, blah, blah, and he just took my trust away and all this, and just that destroyed me, right, my heart. So I was really struggling to find my identity. My parents couldn't understand me. I couldn't see Jesus really. I was an adolescent. So I kind of lost my way, right? So, okay, at 19, I got married with the wrong guy. To make the story a little bit fast, because I don't know how much time I have in this video, because this is not my account. I'm using the account of a friend of mine. I'll put it in my account soon. Anyway, so I got married with all the laws, really with a wedding and all this on the Catholic Church, blah, blah, blah. And then 10 days after, I fainted and I died. I literally died. And the doctors thought I was dead and everything. But no, in that moment, I was out of my body, and I was having this experience out of my body where an angel was talking to me and saying, because I said, why am I dying? My mom and dad will be very worried about me. I don't want to die. And the angel said that God said that it was because God didn't brought me to suffer this. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Suffer what? They meant that this guy was super bad soul, but I could not read his soul because I was so young and naive that I could not see how bad this guy was for me. And God loved my soul so much that He didn't want me in His hands. So I'm like, how? God really loves me a lot. He's so jealous of me. Why? And He said, be afraid. Don't be afraid of that who can kill your body, but be afraid of that one who can kill your soul, He said. And I never read the Bible, so that actually I read it in the Bible later in life. I'm like, oh my God, this is written in the Bible actually. And I heard the words directly from the angel, that proving that the sons of God, we have His laws and everything He said written in our hearts. We know it. The Spirit talks to us about it. Even if we didn't have a written Bible or a written Torah, We can hear it in the spirit. Anyway, so the thing is that okay, so I promised there while I was dead, kind of like out of my body with nothing. I mean, I could not move, and people thought I was dead. And I promised. I said, God, I know everybody will be against me if I divorce, because it's like the guy's family that I got married to is like, they were like kind of rich people like that, and they wanted me to do everything right, and me, I was supposed to do everything right, and blah blah blah. And I was doing it actually, and I was trying to do it, but then God said, no, you're not doing this, and I don't want you to do this. So I'm like, okay, I promise you that I will obey you, and even if the world comes against me, I will divorce from this guy, but just please let me leave, and I promise I'll find the love of my life. So actually God listened to me. He's so merciful, he's so beautiful. I've experienced the merciful love of God so many times that I could write 500 videos, I swear, to tell you how much mercy I know about God. So then I came down. I mean, he let me live again, okay? And I filed for divorce immediately, telling my mom and dad that if I didn't go divorced, I was going to die. So my dad supported me. First, he didn't wanted me, because he was like, no, you got married, now you make yourself responsible and go back to your husband's house. I'm like, no, Dad, I can't, because if I do, I'll die. Please believe me. I looked deep into his eyes, and he believed me. So they supported me. So I came back to my house right away, a week after getting married, and making all this huge party and inviting 300 people or more to the party, and just making all this mess, going to a honeymoon in Las Vegas that I never saw the guy during the whole vacation. I just ran away from him the whole week, because I didn't want to be married with this guy. And then when I came back, I died, it was just whatever. So God divorced me, and after that it was trial after trial, because of course I didn't understand that the Catholic demons, all these people that were, and the family and all this, of course they were like tagging me as a divorced person. And then I was pregnant, so I didn't want to have an abortion or anything. So I had Danny, my daughter, and I raised her with the most love I could, and with the most discipline, like the best I could give of myself. And I was honest, I swear. I never like really gave any bad example to her. I didn't bring guys into my house. I didn't do anything wrong against her. I didn't even party or anything. I was just working because I was on my own. Nobody wanted to support me. My family didn't want to support me. Nobody supported me here in Mexico. But Jesus supported me. God supported me, and I ended up living in the incredible gated community in front of the ocean with dolphins, and it was just magical, just because I obeyed God. So I understood that because I obeyed God, he was always giving me a lot more than anybody in my generation. He was always blessing me endlessly in a way that it was incredible for people to see how much he was blessing me, because even though after I got divorced, I'm pregnant, he found me a way to have a scholarship in the Tecnológico de Monterrey, which is like a college that is very expensive, but I could get in with the scholarship, a 90% scholarship, with my daughter in my arms, and I could went for most of my college there, and do a lot of things that I couldn't be able to do because I was a single mom with no money, but God just let me do many things with no money. So anyway, guys, I'm not here to tell you how God has saved me from the financial part, but also to tell you how I found him, right? So found him again, because all of this time that he was helping me is like I knew it was God, but I was not acknowledging Jesus, because actually I was reading the tarot cards for people, because one of my friends from Mexico City gave me this tarot card deck. Because I was so sensitive and the Holy Spirit was with me, the demons in those things rapidly made me think that I was like, I actually knew how to do it. With people got me hired for that. Like I was in this company of psychics that they paid me $6,000 a month because I was so good at it, So, but it was not from God. It was really not from God. Anyway, I know that because later I was running this ceremony of peyote in the mountains in Querétaro, in Real de 14, and I was actually the shaman with all these healing powers, and I was the Reiki master, and I would heal people by looking at them and thinking good, and just, not thinking good, I will give them to God, because I actually did believe in God. The only thing is that I had no Messiah in the equation. I had not Jesus in the middle of my knowing of God. I just knew the power of the loving kindness of God and all this, and I knew his mercy, and I could work with it. But the problem was that I didn't knew the power of Jesus and the need I had in my life for him, because we all need it, but we think we don't. So I was trying to be righteous and be perfect and be, honorable and be straight and everything right to get the favor of God, right? But I wasn't perfect. I was a human, but I could not see my imperfection clearly. I could just see that I could become great, you know. I could become great. It didn't matter how bad anything was before or whatever, you know, how bad it began. Anyway, so up there in the mountain, guys, I was the only one finding the peyote. I actually found the peyote. The biggest peyote is like 42 little, you know, like it's like a pizza ball. It has little slices, like 42 slices, like the eldest peyotes I found, and like 42 pieces of that, you know. Also, like many, I remember the 42 because it was just like very recurring. But I found many, and people didn't find any peyotes. I was the only one finding them. It was just like